All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your favorite podcast. This is the Sports Sensei, and I am your host, Sensei. Today, we have an action-packed show for you. Today, we'll be talking about the Cowboys and the Bucs, Tom Brady's future, as well as Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, because God knows what they're doing. And we'll also talk about some NBA stuff, and we also got some special and exclusive news for you. Today, our guest, Jay Nicole, couldn't be here, but we're going to hold it down for you, sis. Can't wait to see you when you are back. But make sure you check out me and Ruth the Truth, because we're about to hold it down and we'll have a hot show for y'all coming up. So make sure y'all stay tuned. But before that, check out this cool video. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another rendition of the Sports Senseis. I am your host, Sensei. Also, it's my good sis Ruth, the truth and not the lie. Make sure y'all are following us on all streaming platforms, and make sure y'all check out the show. Send us comments, send us love. We miss you guys just as much as we know you've missed us. We're holding it down for Jay Nicole right now. She's not here with us, but we're gonna get it cracking. Ruth the truth, how are you doing today, ma'am? Or tonight, I should say, because it's night where you at.
It's a late night here on the East Coast, but I'm doing great. Happy to be back here on the Sports Senseis to bring you guys all the latest. A lot of madness happened over the weekend, so I'm ready to unfold that. Yeah, I mean, let's start wherever you'd like, because you already know that I got a lot to say about a certain game that unfolded on Monday night.
I do. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get it out the way. How about them Cowboys? They defeated Tom Brady in Tom Brady's house, Tampa Bay, if you will. Dak played an incredible game. Tom Brady, not so much. But the Cowboys look like a pretty good team, other than their kicker, which we'll get there when we have time. So, Ruth the Truth, I know you were actually at the game. You were in the house. So please take it away. Give us all your expertise and your insight.
Yeah, great game by Dallas. Came out on fire. First couple drives were duds, 3 and out. Looking a little shaky at first, but it seemed like they just needed to get their feet underneath them, get the nerves out the way. And Dak went to town, got everyone involved. Run game was doing okay. Defense was doing what they needed to, applying the pressure. I don't understand why everybody was picking the Bucs to win. Because as much as I feel like people's hate for the Dallas Cowboys kind of clouds their thoughts and clouds their sight of what's in front of them, Tom Brady and the Bucs have not been playing well all season. They lost to teams like the Carolina Panthers. They've lost to Kenny Pickett, a rookie quarterback, and the Pittsburgh Steelers that are in a rebuild after losing their star quarterback and Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, it's been such an up and down battle with this team. A lot more downs than ups. They squeaked away with winning the division with the sorry ass NFC South division. They were below 500, only winning 8 to 9 this season. So not really sure why everyone was so confident with the Bucs. I understand Brady's record of 7-0 against the Dallas Cowboys, this, that, and the third, but this was a totally different team than what he played with the Pats, than what he played with previous in those 2 wins that he had with the Tampa Bay Bucs. But I'm glad everything happens for a reason, because I did not get approved to cover the game in the press box, but I was still able to go to the game and enjoy it as a fan, which was probably even better to really enjoy it as a fan. Because as you may know, when you're in the press box, you're not allowed to cheer,
Nope.
not allowed to get
Nope.
excited. They
Nope.
boot as soon as you show any type of
Emotion, yeah. Yep.
in that aspect. So it would have really been hard for me to keep my composure during that game. I had a lot of fun watching it. Man, our kicker, Lord have mercy. I don't understand how it hasn't been announced that he's been fired. I understand that it'd be kind of tough to go find a kicker last minute when you're on your way to with a valuable opponent like the San Francisco 49ers, but 4 missed extra points. And
Set the record. Set the record.
I don't think that's ever happened in the NFL.
Yep, set the record. Yep.
Game of this magnitude. And Brandon Maher, he's been decent throughout the whole entire season. So I get, Dak Prescott being the class act that he is, didn't show any blame in his press conference when asked about his kicker. He just pretty much said, like, hey, I had a trash game last week. So, I mean, we all have those days. But a quarterback position, a kicker's position is so different.
Very much so.
You have a lot of responsibility. You got a lot of weight on your shoulders. As a kicker, you have one job. One job. You were on the field for a good 2 minutes throughout the whole 60-minute game. You have one job. Very disappointing. Didn't understand what I was watching. Every time he would miss a kick, these Bucs fans would get all hyped and excited, like it was going to get them back in the game, because we missed those extra points. But I'd be going into the half 18-0. And then coming back in the third quarter and just in their very first possession, just not having any weight to their offense for the Bucs. So game got kind of carried away. It was a shame that Russell Gage, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucs, got hurt pretty bad at the end. Kind of a scary sight. All the players were out on the field. He got carried away after, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of being on the field. But talking to Todd Bowles yesterday, I got an injury report that no serious injury. He had a concussion. All the concerns are moving. No serious neck injury, just some soreness, and he'll be back next season. No problem, no surgery, anything like that needed. So that was great to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but bittersweet feeling, because I really wanted Dallas to win. As everyone knows, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but working alongside the Bucs was highlight of my career thus far, and for it to have to come to a close, really disappointed in that sense. And then the big question mark of, is Brady returning? He's hitting free mid-March. Is he going to go to another team, or is he going to call it a day and finally hang up the cleats officially? I really don't know, and nobody in the Tampa organization really could answer that. Yesterday, we had a chance to talk to all the players in the open locker room sesh, and then talk to Todd Bowles at the end of the day. Nobody had answers. They're all saying it's up to Tom. He hasn't made any indication of a decision that he's made, so it's all probably gonna take some time. I see Brady kind of going on vacation and maybe just kind of settling his thoughts and kind of weighing out his options. And he doesn't hit free agency officially until I believe it's March 17th. So it could be a couple months before we even hear an answer from the GOAT, if he's going to hang up the jersey or if he's going to stay with Tampa or move to a different team. But there's been lots of talks that if he doesn't decide to retire, that the Las Vegas Raiders might be a destination for him. I don't know how much truth is in that, but it's been buzzing around the town about him moving on to the Raiders and reunited with Josh McDaniels and obviously Derek Carr. It doesn't really seem like he's going to have a future in Las Vegas with all the discrepancies that they've had.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of good weapons for Brady out there, but they really have a trash defense. So if Brady moves on to a different team, I see him going to somewhere like Miami, who has great defense, a good offensive line, a good special teams. He's not trying to go to somewhere where it's going to be a rebuild or go somewhere where there's all these holes missing at different position that they're going to think to fix it during the draft. No, he wants to go to a complete team that's ready to win now if he decides not to leave. So,
right.
And in the comments, someone's talking about, are they going to fire Byron Leftwich? I've heard no indication that Byron Leftwich has had anything to do with the problems that the Bucs have had this season. I know a lot of people want to point the blame at Byron and his play calling, but I really don't think that was the full problem of the Bucs this season. I think Byron maybe played a little bit too soft in some areas, and he could have improved in things, but I don't think Byron Leftwich is going anywhere. Yesterday at the press conference, they were asking Todd Bowles straight up, is Byron Leftwich getting fired? And Bowles like, no, like that's not even on our minds right now. That's not something that we've even thought about. So, I feel like we should throw those rumors out the window right now. I don't think Byron is going anywhere, but they are optimistic about their offseason. They're evaluating each position thoroughly. They're going to be, they got, I believe, the 19th pick in the draft. So they're going to weigh out their options, but it's all really going to come down to, is Brady going to return? And I feel like if Brady doesn't return, there might be a nice chance that backup quarterback Blaine Gabbert might be stepping into that starting role. He's been in the offensive system for quite some time now, and I think that would be, I guess, an easy fix that you might say for the Bucs for right now. But it's all really going to depend on Brady's decision on retirement or staying to play another year or whatever he decides. But overall, the Bucs, I had it coming to an end with Dallas, but now Dallas is going on to face a really competitive opponent in their home stadium once again. So let's see. I think this was the first time in 30 years that they got a road win in the playoffs. So let's
Yes. I'm gonna say this for me, because I watched the game. It's spillage. I watched the game and I was thoroughly impressed by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys.
5 touchdowns, baby. Let's go. 0 interceptions. Let's go.
I had Tom Brady beating them just because it is Tom Brady. It is the playoffs, and I don't bet against Tom Brady until he loses. That's just my thing. I've done it. I've had too many heartbreaks via Tom Brady to ever bet against him. So that was my only purpose for choosing the Bucs and Tom Brady. No, seriously, Jay. Yes, he needs to do that. But I was very impressed by Dak because Dak didn't start the game particularly well. I feel like once he kind of got his bearings under him and took a deep breath, he got comfortable, and he looked like a quarterback on a mission. He had, like the kids like to say, he had that dog in him. He had that look in his eye where he was like, "This is my moment." Like, and he captured that, and you got to give the ultimate respect and salute to him. The Cowboys defense played very well. Everybody know the book, Tom Brady. If you can get pressure on him and make him get happy feet, good things can happen for your defense. And the Dallas Cowboys defense definitely applied a lot of pressure to Tom Brady. They didn't allow Chris Godwin to really get going towards the end to where the game was out of reach at that point. Just the Cowboys were just firing on almost all cylinders except for when it came down to field goal kicking. Like, if they could have, it could have got out of hand had he made at least 2 out of the 4. Like, you win some, you lose some, but 0 for 4, my boy. Like, what are we really doing here? And most of the kicks, I think there was one where I kind of felt bad for him because it was so close, but the other 3 were like no chance in hell.
I think it was the first one. Because
it might have been the first.
I was really confused on why the scoreboard still said 6-0. Because from where
I was like, wait, what? Because I stepped away for a second.
Stadium, I was like, wait a minute, I could have swore that went in.
Yeah, I stepped away for a second, and then when I came back and I went, they replayed it. I was like, wait, it looked like he made it. So like, what? But then I saw that it kind of tipped at the end. So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of petty, but understandable. But yeah, as far as Tom Brady's future, I don't think he needs to go to another team. I think he needs to retire. Like, listen, you have 7 Super Bowls. You have every record. Even if you don't have the record, you're close to it. You're in the top 3 or top 5 or something. You have literally nothing else to prove. Like all the other quarterbacks that are coming up now, they're running after you. Like at this point, like, and they've got quite the race. So it's like, go out on top. Let it go. Just retire. Like there's no reason to come back and keep putting yourself through the same routine like you're 45, like you're not, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it's time for you to be a dad, bro. Like it's time for you to bring the kids up, train them if that's what they want to do, and make them the second coming. But it's over with. And now listen, as much as I despise Tom Brady, I love him in the same sense, because he's a competitor. He's gonna give you a game. He's gonna make it interesting. He's what we love about sports. Like he carries that very, very well. But it's over. Every dog has his day. And today, yes, Monday was your day. Like, pack it up. Go home and be a family man. Like, it's over with. Sip tequila. Like, I like Tom Brady out to tequila. When he was at the bus parade, I was like, I can hang out with Tom Brady. I would take some shots with Tom Brady. Be that. Like, let us see what that looks like. Be a commentator. I would love to see him do what Peyton and Eli are doing. Like, as far as like the broadcasting and stuff, like, because it's clear he has a sense of humor. Like,
him and Edelman should do their own type of.
Honestly, listen,
instead of doing Monday night, they should do Thursday night football.
You just read my mind, because literally I've seen him in those interactions. He has a funny side. Like, show us that side. Like you've shown us the competitor for so long, and we are appreciative of it. But show us the other sides of you. Like, start your second career. It doesn't have to, like, you could still find other things to be great at. Don't do it when it's too late and where you're not recognizable, or you can't, bring things to memory. Like, I just don't want to see him go out sad. Like, just go out now, bro. Just go out now. That's my personal opinion.
I had Bucs fans sitting close by me that were just, every time that there was a missed throw, there was a misread, there was the interception in the end zone that really kind of killed all momentum for them early in the first quarter. They were just like, yo, this isn't Brady. Like, this isn't what we're used to. This isn't what we saw the first 2 years he was in Tampa. Like, this, he's just not the same guy anymore. And I think everybody's finally coming to terms with it. But is Brady coming to terms with that? And,
and that's the thing.
I was watching this video the other day that they were putting on ESPN. I think the narrator was Steve Young. And he was just talking about the difficulty of transitioning out of football, especially from the quarterback position, when you're used to winning championships, when you're used to being top dog. It's so difficult for them to transition out of that. And I know it must be difficult. I mean,
I could only imagine.
That you've had for 23 years, you've been playing football since you were in grade school, like basically your whole entire life.
That's everything.
I think maybe part of it is Brady is just afraid of doing something else after something that he's been doing for so long. But I mean, you can't keep running from it. It's understandable. To an end eventually. So it's like,
it has to.
Just face it now. 7 Super Bowls, 10 appearances. It is what it is. Like, you are the GOAT. You have the respect of the world, of the nation. You are the face of the franchise for so long, decades. We're talking decades, and that is probably never going to happen again. Just like how LeBron James is 316 points away from Kareem all-time scoring. And when they were interviewing Luka Doncic about that, Luka was like, "Oh, don't look at me. I'm not going to be playing for that long. There's no way."
Like, and that's okay. That's the thing. It's okay. Like, just like I said, accept the other side of things. Like, you have been great. You have given us so many moments, so many memories, so many. I mean, like I said, I have the love-hate relationship with Tom Brady just because I'm a Peyton Manning fan. But at the core of me, like, I'm not dumb. I can like, I know what's going on. Like, he's without a doubt the GOAT. But like, you got that, dog. You've got that. Let it go. Like, there's literally nothing else you can do. You have 7 Super Bowls. Yeah. There are people that are lucky to get one. There are people that have never even sniffed the Super Bowl, and you have 7 of them out of what, the 10 times he's been, I believe.
Yeah, 10 appearances, 7.
10 appearances, and you won 7 of them. Like, you got it, bro. You got it. Like, go, like I said, go be get your family back. That's what you do. Go get your family back. Tell Giselle you was just playing and come home. Okay? Just kidding. I'm here. Like, let's just do that. But let's move on from that game, because we could talk about that all day.
Wait. Before we move on to a different game, we kind of got to talk about the direction of the Bucks at this point.
It's
What
a,
do they
it's
do when Brady decides to move on?
you gotta blow it up.
Do
It's got to
they
be a
go get Lamar Jackson, who doesn't seem happy in Baltimore? Lamar, come back to Florida. Where you from? Come back close to your hometown. You
Lamar
go
Jackson
get a
with
Derek
Chris.
Carr that's been unappreciated over there in Las Vegas. I mean, I think I think the Bucks are kind of looking at this like, all right, instead of trying to develop a young guy, let's go get somebody who we already know is established, who already know can run a locker room, who we already know can be a captain from the jump. I mean, what do you think?
Listen, if they can get Lamar Jackson up, if they can get a couple pieces on the offensive line, the Bucks,
Yeah.
and tighten up that defense a little bit, I think that's a real good landing spot for Lamar Jackson. Because let's keep it real. Lamar Jackson's not going to be a Raven next year. That's my personal feeling. I personally feel like he's not going to be a Raven next year because
What did you read into that post about him? Like, I forgot what it was. It was like a
like
long,
when you like miss out on something good or something like
yeah, like
that,
when
yeah,
you have something good, you
and
can't let it go. You
and
gotta
yeah,
appreciate it while it's there.
and that's what makes me think he's not going to be a Raven next year because I feel like the Ravens have had so much time to lock him in, to offer him the kind of the money that he's asking for, and pretty much solidify like we with you, we want to build around you. We have a championship culture, which they do. They have a couple Super Bowls, so they have a championship culture, championship style defense. We just need to get you a couple more pieces, and we got you. They have given him none of that. They
Yeah.
have given him no zero kind of faith or confidence that they have in him to say, we think you're the quarterback of our future. To me, they are playing in that man's face.
Yeah.
And the problem is that you're playing in somebody's face in the new generation of the NFL. This ain't the old days where the players play by the owner's rule. They run shit now. Like the players are the ones that make decisions now. The players are the ones who have all the cards in their hands, and they're not understanding that. So like you gonna let if you're gonna let a wondering eye wonder, it's gonna end up going somewhere else.
Mm.
And I personally feel like Lamar is looking at it like y'all want me to strap up my knee, risk my potentially risk my future, potentially risk my bag to prove to y'all that I'm the quarterback of the future when I have taken y'all to the playoffs. I have
Yeah.
a winning record in the regular season. I've won an MVP. I've set all these records. I'm a dynamic quarterback with my arm and my legs. What else do I need to prove? If anything, y'all need to prove something to me because y'all haven't given me the proper pieces to take us to the next level. I've made do with what you presented. So what else do I have to do?
Yeah.
So if it's coming down to that, like I said, I wouldn't be mad at Lamar Jackson in Tampa Bay, and I'm sure Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans wouldn't be mad at him coming. Myself personally.
I agree. I mean, I know it was a 17-24 loss. They had an opportunity to beat the Bengals, but Tyler Huntley just couldn't get the job done with that fumble in the end zone, that Sam Hubbard 98-yard touchdown to win the game at the end. I think it would have been a totally different story if Lamar Jackson was playing that game.
They wouldn't have even been put in that position where they
I
would have been playing like that.
I thought Lamar was going to come back and play. I really thought he was, but then like you said, like why would he if he's not having this guaranteed contract? There's no ink on the paper. I wish Lamar the best for his future, but I think he needs to hire a real agent that is going to fight for him to get paid. I think his family member being his representation, it just hasn't really been working in his cards. So I really think that he needs to hire a real agent that's really, really going to push for him to get the contract that he wants and deserves. But disappointing way for the Baltimore Ravens to go out. But Lamar is that offense. Lamar is that team. So, and I know that they've been seeing how badly they need him. So I don't know what Baltimore is going to do right now. It kind of seems like it's too late. It's like that girlfriend that you want to get back, but it's like you've already moved on type of thing. I feel like it's gotten to that point with Lamar and the Ravens. So yeah, that's gonna look like a whole different team next year. I'm interested in to see what's gonna happen in the offseason.
I agree. The only thing I say I would disagree on, I don't think it's necessarily the family representing him that's the issue, as far as them fighting for him. And this is why I say this. I think because he doesn't have the traditional agent, I think the Ravens organization, or most organizations, when it comes to players having their friends represent them or their families represent them, they think they can play with them, because it's like, you don't know the business, you didn't go to school, you don't have the certification, you don't have the this and the that. So they try to pick point and try to play with you, because it's like, well, you don't know you don't really know what you deserve. You don't know you don't know what he's worth, because you don't, like I said, you're not a professional. They did the same thing with Rich Paul with LeBron. They did the same thing when LeBron, decided to fire his agent and have his four homeboys run his business. LeBron's now a billionaire off of that decision. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be done. But the thing of it is that they want things structured and run the way that they want it, and it's just not that way anymore. Like, more so now, players are a lot more wise when it comes to the business sense, because they understand that they have to be. Because, talk to a good majority of those players and things of that nature from back in the day who had agents who got suckered out of a bunch of money that they didn't know where it was going, who, what I'm saying, like, started doing making all these wrong business decisions based off of the expert opinion. Yeah. So it's like that's, I mean, you're not particularly wrong as far as like fighting for the money, but I disagree with that, just for the simple fact that I think that organizations take advantage of the fact that you have a family member or somebody that's not a quote unquote professional representing you. So it's just like, well, we can just present you with anything because you're just going to be happy with anything. No, I'm not.
So if they offer him a franchise tag to play for the Ravens another season, you think that he should not sign that?
I would.
For whatever money $40 million or whatever the cap is for quarterbacks for that season?
I wouldn't. It would depend on what we would have to set in stone of a future that we're working towards, to where we can come to a common medium where I'm happy and you're happy. Don't just franchise tag me and be like, well, we'll figure it out. No, I don't want to. We're not doing that. Frank, if you got a franchise tag me because you have a deadline, but we're gonna eventually work towards getting the deal that I want and a deal that's comfortable for y'all, then okay. Yeah. But if not, no, absolutely not.
He's got options.
Yeah, I mean, he's not stuck. His situation is not to the point where like he's just completely stuck and he has to accept the franchise tag. He doesn't. Yeah. So if I'm him, I'm like, no. Right. For what? Because
he has every right. Yeah. I mean, there's Miami, because who knows what's happening with Tua. I mean,
right.
They played with their third string quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater's also hurt. Tampa might be looking for a quarterback. I mean, Jacksonville is pretty solid with obviously with Trevor Lawrence, but Carolina might be looking for a new quarterback. Atlanta, like, there's so many teams out there that need a MVP caliber quarterback, and I think the cards are in Lamar's favor right now in that aspect, where he can go anywhere that he wants, honestly, because it's slim pickings out there when it comes to quarterbacks that are established, that I wouldn't call him a veteran, but he's not a rookie. He's like right in between. So yeah, I mean, there's a big demand for a quarterback of his caliber. So absolutely, cards are in his favor. I'm excited to see where Lamar's going to go. But I hope he makes the right decision, that he doesn't fall into a big money bag, but not having the players and the protection around him. I hope he thinks more of okay, yeah, I do deserve this amount of money, but I also want the players around me to be paid as well, because I want good players around me, like a George Kittle, like a Deebo Samuel, like, you know what I'm saying? So I hope Lamar makes the right decision for his future, but I'm excited to see where he's going to end up.
Definitely. Me also as well. Now transitioning from the NFL to some NBA news. That's a good point, John Suggs. But I feel like a lot of teams would, especially if a team can sign Deshaun Watson with his history, they can sign Lamar Jackson. Period. Point blank. So moving on from that, let's get into some NBA stuff here. Now the Phoenix Suns, they were supposed to be a top team in the West. Everybody thought that they would be in the top 3 or top 5 in the runnings, but right now they have been struggling as of late. They are 21-24 in their past several games here, and haven't looked like the team we all think could be in contention. So, Ruth, the truth, what is going on in Phoenix?
I think Phoenix has been falling apart since getting smacked up by the Dallas Mavericks last NBA postseason. They've been hit with the injury bug. Chris Paul's been out for a significant amount of time. I know he's back now, but then Devin Booker's been down for a long time. I really feel like their last time in the NBA Finals was their chance to really make that happen. And it's been they've been degrading ever since. Right now, they're sitting in the 12th seed in the Western Conference right now, right in front of the Los Angeles Lakers, just to mention that, and behind the Portland Trailblazers. Under 500, they're 20-24. Things are just not looking good for Phoenix. I think Chris Paul's getting too up there in age to really carry the load as much as he's done in other franchises, and he just needs more help around him, and people are not staying healthy. And I don't think DeAndre Ayton is the answer. He is too back and forth, no consistency, and man, he's flimsy down there on the board. So I think they might need to move on from DeAndre and maybe trade him while he's still somewhat valuable to help them fix their season.
I would agree. I think that DeAndre Ayton does not want to be there. It was made clear that last year that he didn't want to be there anymore. Him and the coach got into it pretty tough
a few times,
and especially during that Dallas Mavericks series where they, like you said, got smacked up pretty bad. Yeah, real bad. I think Luka put some kind of voodoo on them. I don't know exactly what he did or how he did it, but every time they play against him, he's just like, "Oh yeah, game. It's time to eat. It's lunchtime." Like he doesn't.
He's playing with food.
He's playing with his food. It's barbecue chicken all over the court, no matter if they're in Dallas or they're in Phoenix. Like, listen, they didn't lit a fire under that. But like, do you remember the LeBronto days against the Raptors, where he would just smack them around and just. I mean, every time he played against them, it was just like it was unfair. I feel like Luka is kind of building that against the Phoenix Suns right now. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think when they made the finals, that was their chance because Chris Paul was still playing at a relatively high level. He's always kind of gotten tic-tac injuries here and there.
They lost to the Bucks, right? Was that when they lost?
Yes, that's when Giannis. That's when Giannis won the championship. Yes, that is correct. So I mean, I definitely feel like I feel the same. I feel like that was their window, and that window, unfortunately for them, is closed now. And it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better, honestly and truly. Because Chris Paul is, he's an older guy. He's had to carry a lot of weight for that tiny frame. He's had to carry a lot of weight over the course of years, and everybody ain't Bron. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
It catches most people pretty around this time. So I mean, I hope maybe that they could pull something out and figure things out, but it's not looking too good.
Yo, what's going on with your Sacramento Kings, Sensei?
Hey man, listen,
in Sacramento, give us the tea. I mean, 24-18, sitting number 4 in the West. Like I did not see that coming. I mean, I did possibly making the play-in tournament, but they sitting pretty right now in number 4.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in Sacramento saw a 4 seed coming. I think we all thought like we could possibly be like play-in team at the best, play like sitting around that 10th, 11th spot, but sitting at number 4. And I tell people all the time when they ask me, I'm like, if you could see the energy in the building at a Kings home game, it is electrifying. It is like deafening. It is inspiring. Like everybody in Sacramento is so excited. Like when it feels like a one big family when we're watching the Kings. Like people will come up to you. Like I've had people come up to me that have seen me at the games, working the games, and be like the beam and giving me the high five outside of work. Like I'm not even at the arena. Like they're just so like it's like I said, the buzz in the city around the Kings is incredible. It's an incredible. I've never really been this close to a situation like this. It kind of feels like when the Warriors were starting to go on their run, and obviously I'm not comparing the Kings to the Warriors, so relax. But it just feels like when they were kind of starting to build and people started to look at stuff like, oh, he could potentially be like, he could be somebody, it feels like that. And it's just it's incredible. Honestly, I love to watch it. It's awesome. Like the Kings have been playing great, sitting at number 4. They're gonna hopefully, if they can keep this pace up, knock on wood, um will be going to the playoffs at a number 4 seed. Yes, I would agree. Fox and Sabonis have looked great this year. Sabonis and has been really impressive, especially on the defensive end, getting rebounds, etc. Keegan Murray is not playing like a rookie. He's playing like he's been here before. His game is just so he's just comfortable. He looks so comfortable. Every time I watch that, like his emotions never change. He's never up and down. Like he's just always even keel. So it's awesome, man. I'm not really a Kings fan, but working for them has been great. And I mean, they've kind of converted me a little bit. Like unless they're the only time I don't root for them is when they play in Brown. But anytime, any other time, they got me. I'm right there with them.
Yeah, it's been beautiful to watch. I've only caught a couple games for Sacramento so far, but Sabonis is a great addition to that squad. I think he brings that veteran presence and helps those young rooks. And I'm really excited to see if they can continue this flow after All-Star weekend when things really start to turn up in the NBA. But they're sitting real nice at number 4. And then we also have, let's look at these standings right now. So Denver sitting at number 1. The Memphis Grizzlies are tied with 31 wins and 13 losses. So they're basically tied for the number 1 seed in the West right now. Then they got the New Orleans Pelicans at number 3, who has been surprising. They've been staying afloat even with Zion Williamson out. Obviously, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, a lot of great players on that team kind of keeping things together while Zion heals up from that quad injury. And then we got Dallas at number 5, and they just lost to the Atlanta Hawks tonight at home. But, I mean, Luka Doncic is just that dude. And Golden State Warriors are starting to creep up a little bit too. They're sitting in that 6th seed after hanging out with the Lakers in the
I think there's 7 behind Utah right now.
Oh, I'm looking at the Western Conference on NBA.com, and they say they're number 6 with.
Okay. ESPN has them 7.
Differential is a little above Utah right now.
Okay.
Which is another team. I thought Utah was going to be in a complete rebuild after losing Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. But they've been staying afloat as well at 24-24. They're sitting at 500 right now. My Clippers been clipping, so I don't even want to go there right now.
Sitting at a comfortable number 8.
Oh, man, what a head scratcher. They lost in a disappointing fashion to the 76ers last night, just letting Joel Embiid do whatever the hell he wanted last night, just completely controlling the boards. Couldn't keep him off the free throw line. James Harden also had a good game last night against the Clippers. And just, I don't know, I need to see a little more consistency out of Kawhi because it's just, he's not really treading in the right direction either. But, I mean, Paul George is always going to be that dude. And John Wall, whenever he gets healthy and can have some consistency, we'll see how that goes. Minnesota at number 9. Karl Anthony Towns has been hurt for a while. I think Edwards is playing, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that shapes up for them. But let's talk about your Los Angeles Lakers right now. They're 20-24. LeBron is 316 points away from chasing Kareem. People have been saying it, so I'm going to ask you, Alana.
Okay.
Is Bron just chasing stats right now? And is playoffs really not on his to-do list? Does he feel like he doesn't have the roster to get to the playoffs, so he's going to chase these stats, he's going to get Kareem's record, and reload next year?
I don't feel like the playoffs are ever not on LeBron's mind, meaning that he's been to the playoffs so many times. I think he's looking at the writing on the wall, though, and realizing that this team currently constructed cannot, if they do squeak the play in, they're not going to really do damage as they're currently constructed. I think he is, in a sense, holding out hope that, some moves will be made and we can make some trades and get some things moved around. But I think he also realizes that there's a big possibility that won't happen because the Lakers don't really have a whole lot to offer in, as far as a trade for somebody that would make sense. So I think he's contemplating a lot of different things, but also at the end of the day, like, yeah, he's going after the record. And as he should. Like, he's right there. Why not? If you there if you know what I'm saying, like, if you're right there for the taking, why not go for it? So I think he's just, in this sense, it's just like I kind of see what this is. I'm just going to play my hardest and do what I can, obviously, to help my team win. But at the same time, I also chase this record because I've been chasing this record. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? I think his focus is kind of shifted to where he really wants to play with Bronny. So he's also considering that. Like, I think he's considering a lot of different things, but I don't think it's just that he's chasing stats. I think he just realizes what the reality of what the Lakers situation is for this year.
I mean, this man is scoring almost 50 points in games at 38 years old. So
yeah,
and he's been doing it for so long. He's got championships. He's got 4 championships. He's done a lot for the NBA. So I'm okay with him chasing this Kareem all-time scoring record. I'm okay with that. I mean, let the man live. Let the man do what he wants. He's earned it. I feel like he's earned it. I feel like everybody just wants to dog on LeBron all the time. And I mean, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but I respect greatness. Like, I'm not blind. I'm not gonna, turn an eye to him just because his team is not to where everybody expected the Lakers to be.
Right.
But John Suggs has a great question. Should the Lakers trade Anthony Davis to get some picks, or is that even an option for them to be trading Anthony Davis? Because with his long list of injuries, inconsistencies, who's really going to give up major draft picks?
I don't see that making sense for the Lakers, or for any.
I think they're stuck with AD for right now.
I think I was gonna say that. I think they're definitely stuck with AD for right now, just for the injuries alone, not for obviously production wise or what he potentially could be, because we all know what he could potentially be if healthy. But it's just always that if healthy. So I don't think anybody pulls the trigger on that, because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to, well, how long are we gonna have you? How long are you gonna be available? Because for his most of his tenure with the Lakers, he's been in street clothes.
Right, street clothes.
So you know what I'm saying?
I feel the same way about Kawhi Leonard. I think the Clippers have shot themselves in the foot, pun intended. They are stuck with Kawhi, and the man has great accolades, but I mean, in the last couple of years, you're only getting younger, or you're only getting older. You don't bounce back from injuries the way that you used to. You sat out a whole entire season. So I think they're kind of in the same boat right now as the Lakers are with Anthony Davis. They're stuck with him. So they got to make it work. They got to pay money for whatever type of trainers and health expertise that they can get, and just try to get them back on the floor. But I don't think trading and trying to get draft pick, I don't really think that that's going to be an option for that front office for Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard. We just gave Kawhi Leonard like a 4-year extension last season. So he's stuck in LA, just as Anthony Davis is stuck with the Lakers.
Absolutely. I would definitely agree with that. Unfortunately, both LA teams kind of hinched their wagons to some
and put all their eggs in a basket, and
in a basket that was a little wet at the bottom, and they didn't realize once they picked it up, it was gonna break. So I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where both of those teams are at, honestly.
So Sacramento is leading the Lakers by a point at the half, 61-60.
Yep.
So I'll be watching the end of that game whenever we wrap up the show, because I'm interested to see how Sacramento Kings is going to hold up against King James and the Lakers.
Yeah, the last Kings and Lakers game went down to the wire. It went to overtime. In the Kings arena, it was crazy. And
tell me about that experience, Alana. I know you got a story.
Tell us. I do, because it's been weighing pretty heavy on my conscience, and I just feel like I need to express myself. So story time. So I'm working the Kings. I actually was supposed to cover the game, the majority of the game, like from the start. But so I do kind of a duality with the Kings Arena. Like I work for the actual arena sometimes. Like I'll work some of the events, and then sometimes I'll do reporting. Like because that's how I got into the reporting thing, was working through the actual arena itself.
Yeah.
So I was due to actually do the reporting for that game, but I got a call from one of my managers, and it was like, hey, like I know you're doing your reporting thing, and I hate to even ask, but is there any way you could just help us for like a couple of quarters or whatever? Because we had a lot of call-ins, like we need your assistance. So I'm like, cool. I'm like, that's fine, but just as long as you understand, like at halftime, I gotta go. Like I can't past halftime, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, that's fine. So I come down, I work like the first 2 quarters. I'm running all over the place, helping people out, stuff like that. So halftime comes, I go down to the lower level, get me something to eat because I hadn't ate anything. Like I just been running on pure fume. I was running on fumes and vibes. That's all I was running on, fumes and vibes. So I'm like, I need like an apple or something. Like let me like. So I got some fruit, drank some water, and go upstairs. Like I said, the arena is on fire. There's a plethora of Laker fans and also a plethora of Kings fans. So it's literally like half the arena is Lakers fans, half the arena is Kings fans. So there's cheering no matter what happens. Like if the Kings score, it's loud. If the Lakers score, it's loud. Either way it goes, right?
Yeah.
So working the game. It gets to, I say, the top of the 4th. And at this point, I'm on the, so you know how like how the how arenas are, like one side has where the players are, and then the other side is like the courtside seats, and then it has like the announcers, like little booth or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm on the side where the announcers and stuff is at, and I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be working, but I was like, I gotta get to Bron. Like I gotta see him. Like I have to see him close. Like I have to see him and I have to see him see me. So I'm like, but how am I gonna do it? So, but I know the arena in and out because I also work there. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna venture to the other side. So I go through the tunnel. I kind of go behind the curtain, but I have my badge and I have like my little name tag. So I'm staffed, so I'm allowed to be there. So I kind of use my, listen, Kings Arena, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but I had to do what I had to do. So I go behind the curtain. I go on the other side, and then I come up the other side of the tunnel where the Lakers bench is. So like, the tunnel that they go out up to go to the visiting locker room.
Yeah,
I'm in that tunnel.
Okay.
Basically, so I'm like right there. So I'm in like eye shot where he could see me, but I'm also like away from the security where they can't see me, because if they see me, they can be like, what are you doing here, basically. So I'm like, this is the funniest part of the story, one of the funniest parts of the story to me. So when I was telling my best friend what happened, like and how I was calling Bron's name, she was like, why you calling him like you've been knowing him for your whole life? because I was like standing at the corner and I'm like, Bron, hey Bron. To the point where like there were fans who were sitting right here and they were just cracking up at me because I'm like literally like I'm like sneaking like this and I got the whole hand up like, Bron, hey, bro. But it's electrifying and like it's so loud, so I know for a fact he can't hear me. Like I know for a fact, but I'm screaming with all my might, right? So to the point where like the fans behind me, they start helping me, like they start calling his name because they like he wasn't paying attention, obviously. Like he was locked in on the game, so he was not paying attention.
Right.
So they're like, LeBron, hey LeBron, and then they were like pointing at me. So finally, I don't know what made him look, but he eventually ended up looking like he was like, I think he was like either sipping the water bottle or something, or like a Gatorade cup. That's what.
Was he on the bench or was he on the court?
He was on because this is the start of the fourth quarter, so he always rests like at the very start, which I know this because Bron fan.
Yeah.
He always rests at the very start of the fourth quarter, so he's resting, like he's sitting on the bench at this particular point.
Okay.
So I'm like I said, he was like sipping out his Gatorade cup, and then he finally like does one of these, and then he looks, and then like he beelines right to me, and I'm like, Bron. Like at the same time that he looks, I call his name, and he looks, and he does like one of these, and I'm like, and I was like, hey, you the GOAT. And he was like, appreciate that. And I just took off running. That was it. I couldn't take it. It was too much. I had to go. It switched. I had to get out of there.
Yay! I mean,
It was.
that's got to be a surreal moment for somebody you've been a fan of for so long, somebody you've hours and hours of endless nights of watching this man play, that you finally got to see him and him acknowledge you, and you guys have a couple second of a conversation and a connection like that. That had to be a good feeling. You had butterflies in your stomach, didn't you?
Oh God, what? Like I literally was like, because like just off the things you said, like being a fan of this man for so long, like I'm talking about, like I've been a fan of Bron since Bron was in high school. I first saw Bron in high school because I lived in Chicago. I was right, which is not that far from Ohio. So like at this time, we didn't have like how they have it now, to where you can see these high school players on social media and like, you know, get everybody's, like you had to do your research. You had to know like what magazines to follow, newspapers to follow, certain basketball tournaments to follow. Like I've been a part of that whole era. I remember collecting Sports Illustrated magazines when he was a 15-year-old kid on the cover and being like, who is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing him on ESPN playing against a young Carmelo, when I didn't even know who Carmelo was. And I'm like, who are these? Like these guys look like they're ready to go to the league right now. And this was Bron's like junior year. So I've been like, Bron's been in the league for 20 years. I've probably been a LeBron fan for 25, like legit. So to see, like you said, to see my favorite player that and be that close and have that couple second moment, like, listen, if you thought my GOAT conversation about him before it was crazy, don't talk to me now.
It's over for everybody.
It's over. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, like there's nothing you're gonna do to convince me he's not the GOAT. I told it to him. He acknowledged it. That's all that matters. It's a wrap. It's over with. Put my man's on the pedestal. But no, it was honestly, it was great. It was amazing. I got into it with so many Kings fans because the game was so close. Like it was like such a back and forth game, and like I think the Lakers ended up winning by like 3, but it was like intense, like like it was crazy. But honestly, it's like I said, it was a really great moment. Like it was kind of like, shoot, like when you go to the Bucks games, I know you feel that, like you just be like, man, like I can't believe I'm here. Like that's what it felt like. Like I can't believe I'm here. Like
yeah.
So,
I mean, shout out to the Bucks PR department that gave me my couple of moments with the GOAT and the GOAT of the NFL at the quarterback position of Tom Brady. And there was a lot of times where I felt like this isn't reality. Like,
like you gotta pinch yourself sometimes
close to Tom Brady. I mean, am I really making eye contact with him and having the opportunity to ask him questions? Like it's just, as a sports fan for so long, just like you said, that you've been a fan of LeBron for 20 plus years. I've been a fan of Tom Brady since he entered the league, since I started watching the NFL. So it was, I get what you mean, but I can't wait for that opportunity when I get to see Tom out and about, not like in street clothes, not in a professional setting, because I really just want to like pick his brain and really have a conversation with him and joke around with him and just be myself instead of being a tight-knit, tie, suit and tie type of thing. But I don't got a story as great as that one. But this past Monday, I don't know if I told you, but I found out that Sean Murphy Button, the cornerback for the Tampa Bay Bucks, lives in my building. One of the concierges told me a couple months ago.
Oh wow!
That he lived in our building. So I was like, well, I'm gonna make sure that I'm looking right every time I go to walk the dog in case I catch him in the elevator. And I actually interviewed his mom. Her name's Kimberly Murphy. She has a charity called Successful Jocks, and I've had her on my podcast. I saw her at the Thanksgiving turkey giveaway for the old lineman, and I asked her because she recognized me, came up and said hello. I was like, Kim, tell me, does your son live in my building? And I told her the building name and everything. I'm not gonna put it out there for everybody to know where he lives or where I live at that moment.
Yeah, right. Because you were celebrity
she's like, yeah, he lives there. How you know? And I'm like, because I live there too. And the concierge told me blah blah blah. So I want to say maybe 3.5 weeks ago, I'm in the lobby hanging out with the concierge girl, the girl that works overnight. Her name's Dee. Shout out to Dee. I freaking love her. I come back in from walking the dog and going on a little jog, looking like a hot mess, butt all messy, no makeup on, like just looking crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to Dee, and somebody comes in through the front door, and I just lock eyes with them, and I'm like, That's
Yep,
Sean Murphy Button. And I went up to him and I introduced myself and I was like,
Yes.
yo, I got a radio show. Would love you to have you on my show. He gave me a sticky note. I'm glad the numbers aren't showing, but there's hold on, let me see if I can cover the numbers.
Yeah, but make sure just in case somebody's a creep.
Yeah, so this is Sean Murphy Button's handwriting. I know that the camera is not.
Yeah, but yes,
he gave me his number and was like, "Yeah, I'll come on your radio show." So I told him after the season I was gonna hit him up to have him on the Moment of Truth, but that's not where I'm going. So Monday night, me and the Boo on our way to the Raymond James Stadium, getting ready to see this Cowboys game.
Of course,
as you know, I'm going as a fan, so I was decked out head to toe in all Dallas gear.
Of course.
We hit the elevator button. Elevator doors open. Guess who is standing there?
Sean
Murphy Bunting is standing there. And he looks up at me. He's like, and then he just gives me that eyebrow. Like, what are you wearing? And I walked into the elevator and I just started looking down. I was like, man, this is really awkward.
I've ruined the moment.
He's never coming on my radio show now. Like, dang. But before I got off the elevator, I was like, yo, good luck tonight. And he was like, thanks. But I feel like he said it in a kind of like really? Yeah, like, so you want me to have a good night tonight? Like, you're decked out in all the gear that I'm about to play against, and you're wishing me to have a good night? Oh, that was embarrassing. But Sean Murphy, if you're hearing this, I hope you still come on my radio show. Don't look at any of this.
Listen, don't hold it. Don't
We're
hold
just
it
talking some football, you know?
Don't hold it against her. She still loves you. It's just her love for the Cowboys runs a smidge deeper.
Jay told him, he was like, you know, she's stuck in a hard place because, you know, she follows the Bucs and works with the Bucs, but, you know, she's been a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan since she's a kid, so it's not really her fault. So don't mind her. Don't mind her.
Yeah, so shout out to the Boo for sticking up for you and letting them know. Like, listen, it's not what it looks like.
Because you know, he saw my face as soon as I walked in there. I was like, damn, because I'm wearing a hat. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing shoes, like everything, stars all over the place. There was no hiding it. Like, I was showing my true alliance at that very moment. So very unlucky. Like, I even have my dog in a Dallas Cowboys jersey right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But it is what it is. The Bucs really weren't meant to win that game. They were lucky to even be in that position. And honestly, nobody thought that they were going to be in the postseason. So sorry, Bucs fans. I mean, not a good season. Can't really think that you're going to get lucky in the postseason and think things are magically all going to fall together. I know Tom Brady's a GOAT, but he's 45 years old. So he can't do the things that he used to be able to do. So it is what it is. But great story, Alana. I'm so glad that you got your moment with LeBron. More to come, more to come. We're going to be interviewing him on the big screen one day.
I can't wait.
Talking about him and the all-time scoring record. He's only 316 points away from reaching, I don't know if it's surpassing or reaching Kareem's record.
I think 316 might be reaching, and then anything beyond that will be passing, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, cool. So he's getting real close. Probably going to happen maybe mid-February. They're estimating probably no later than the late February. It's going to happen as long as he's healthy and out there on the court. I mean, scoring 47 points a game, it's probably going to happen before the end. But before the end of January, like, it's probably going to come up soon.
Listen, anybody in LA who has any tickets to Lakers games late in this February, please phone home. Call your girl.
Okay. Phone home. Now,
I'm not far. Okay?
5 minutes left in the third quarter. 79-72. Sacramento is up on the Lakers. Let's see how many points LeBron has. Let's see how many points he's stripped away from that 316.
Where's my boy? Where's Bronny?
Right now, he's got 25 points. So 316 minus 25. So he's got 290. Wait, 291.
It's coming. I gotta call Kareem's
record.
I gotta call some of my LA connects. We gotta figure something out.
Oh, let me know. I'm down to ride out. I would love. I've only seen LeBron play once. But I mean, that would just be a milestone moment. Those tickets are probably going to be insane, but it's going to be well worth it.
No. Oh, what? Yeah. Woo. Yeah, let me make some phone calls because I gotta figure something out. But Root to Chew, I know it is late where you are, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for joining. And make sure y'all support the Sports Senseis. Make sure y'all follow Ruth the Truth on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Go ahead, shout out your social media, sis, so they can follow you.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Ruth the Truth, 3 H's at the end. On Instagram, I'm keeping pretty active on there as well. Just real quick before I go, shout out to Steven Stamkos, the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, for scoring his 500th goal against the Canucks. I wish it wouldn't be happening in Vancouver. I wish it was at home at the Amalie Arena, but what a milestone. The 47th player in NHL history to reach 500 goals. There right now, it is 16 minutes left in the second period, and the score is 4-0. The Lightning are really taking it to them. Steven Stamkos scored 2 goals already tonight against the Canucks. So he's at 501. Can't wait for the game on the 24th for the Lightning, for us to really celebrate him hitting such a milestone and being the first Lightning player to ever reach 500 goals. Shout out to Steven Stamkos and the Lightning organization. Can't wait to see you guys get back from this road trip on the 24th. Look out for that on my Instagram. I'll be at the Emily. But thank you guys so much. Sensei,
indeed.
Great show. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Sensei_33, as well as on Twitter, Trizzy_baby33. And if you are on Facebook, you can find me by my regular name, which is Alana Trapp. So just go ahead and follow all of those things. As well as if you are into podcasts and you listen to podcasts, if you got Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc. From the Ground Up is officially on there on all the streaming platforms, wherever you can listen to podcasts. So make sure you follow that also and as well. And we got some From the Ground Up merch coming for you guys soon. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. You can cop all your t-shirts. I'll be dropping that link very, very soon, so everybody can get ready to lock in and purchase. And I got a little challenge that I'm gonna make up for you guys, but we'll get to that at a later date. But yeah, let's get it. Yes, that's right. Ruth the Truth. Put some Jesus in their life, Ruth the Truth. But all right, y'all have a great night. This has been another episode of the Sports Sensei, and we out this thing.
God bless.
God bless.